before we continue the contents, remember so far what process steps we have. Look at your handout from chapter 2, page 8. We start from analyze transactions, right? So we figure out what happened inside the company, right? So after we analyze transactions, we know at least two effects, right? For example, for this case, our cash increased $10,000. Share capital increased $10,000. After we analyze transactions, then we are going to record this transaction, right? Before we start to record the transactions, you have to figure out we should put a number on your left side or right side. So it means debit or credit, okay? So after you figure out we put a number on left or right, debit or credit, you should understand all the things right here is only exist in your mind, right? Then after this, we record on our first accounting book, right? So go to your page 11. That's our first accounting book journal. So our first accounting book journal, 日记簿, we record all these transactions based on what? Date, right? So based on the date. So first day, what happened? Second date, what happened? So based on the date, then we record each transactions. Put the numbers on your left, debit, right, credit, okay? But we put a number on left or right, debit or credit? You have to understand the debit credit rules, right? So what's the debit credit rules? For any kind of assets, when number increase plus, we put it on left debit side, right? Number decrease, we put it on right credit side. How about liabilities? Liabilities, any number increase plus, we put it on right credit. Decrease, we put it on left debit, okay? How about any account on equity? Increase, we put it on right credit. Decrease, we put it on left debit. How about revenues? The same side with equity, right? So increase on right credit, decrease on left debit. How about expenses, dividends? Expenses, dividends, the opposite side with your equity. So expenses, dividends, increase plus on left debit, decrease minus on right credit, okay? So after you under debit credit rules, then you know how we put the numbers on left, right, debit, credit, okay? So after first book, the problem is you cannot answer manager's questions anytime, right? So in order to answer manager's questions anytime, in order to keep your jobs, that's why we need a second book. So what's our second book? T account ledger, right? So T account ledger is our second book. So we post to 过账, posting 过账, post to our data from our first book to our second book, okay? So don't forget, each account have their own page. So each account, we will know their balance, final amount, their result, why, in order to answer manager's questions anytime, okay? So remember, for the second book, we base on what? Account, right? So based on each account, we have our second book. Okay? So after this, we know any questions we could answer managers, right? What if manager asks, hey, how much money the cash we have right now? You can say, oh, let me check our second book, cash, right now on the last day, October 31st, we still have a cash, $15,200. Okay? Any questions? No? And after we finish this, remember, at least do your simple double check. So what's a simple double check? The balance final amount should appear on the correct side. So what's the correct side? Normal balance, 正常余额. Final amount should appear on your left or right. So left or right. Appear on the plus positive side, right? So cash increase on debit. So at least do your simple double check. The final amount should appear on the positive side. The final amount should appear on the positive side. Okay? Then maybe you got the correct number. At least they should appear on the normal side. Normal side, correct side. Normal side, correct side means positive side, okay? So our service revenue, keyword is on, right? So that's our liability. Liability, positive on your right side. So balance, final amount should appear on positive side, per side, okay? After this, we've done the second book. Any questions? So that's all contents, actually, the structural framework we have since the first week to right now, okay? So after we finish 2 books, you will maybe so, release, finally, I finished 2 books. I can answer managers any questions. But the problem is, you know, accounting, all the numbers you find out, they are money. So we are very careful on every numbers, everything we have. So after we finish 2 books, we need to do our first official double check. So we want to double check all the numbers right now. Even though you find out the number appear on normal balance on correct side, still you cannot make sure the total numbers are correct. So we want to double check whether all the numbers, the total numbers, they are correct, okay? So we want to do our first official double check. So we need another tool to help us do the official double check after you complete 2 accounting books, okay? So go to our slide. So our slide on your page 67, your textbook 2-20. Did you find out? This is our first accounting book, right? So our first accounting book based on date. So this is our journal. Then, next page. Did you find out this one? Each page based on account. Each page based on account. So that's our second book, ledger, okay, 分类账. But this way is formal way. So you can use the formal way or you can use informal way. So what's the informal way? T account, okay? So it depends on you. So your textbook 2-21, this is our second book, ledger, 分类账. Okay? After we've done these 2 accounting books, right now, we want to do our first official double check to know all the numbers so far we have, they are correct. So it's on your slide 70, your textbook 2-22, okay? So we want to do our first double check. We need a tool, we call it trial balance 试算表, trial balance 试算表, okay? But you know, we want to do our first official double check. We cannot do it anytime because we don't have much time. So every day after you've done each transaction, we use the simple way like I mentioned before, right? You can double check each transaction like a debit equal to credit, left equal to right. Each transaction at least 1 debit, 1 credit. And you should find out the final amount balance appear on normal side, correct side, positive side, right? So far that double check, simple way we mentioned. This, for you, easy. After you've done each transaction, you could do the simple double check. But when we do an official double check, after you finish whole process, 2 books, we cannot do official double check anytime, So we just do it once each month, okay? So here I told you, we do the double check at a given time. Given time usually is at the end of each accounting period. So on the last day of each month, or on the last day of each quarter, or on the last day of each year. Okay? So for this trial balance, we do official double check. We do it only at the end of each accounting period, 期末. So it's like the last day of each month, usually each month, or each quarter, or each year. Okay? So after each month, we do a double check. After each month, we do a double check. Then how? Again, total debits equal to total credit. Remember, we've mentioned left equal to right, left equal to right. So even whole process after each month, we still have to measure left equal to right. So all debits equal to all credits, okay? So this is the way we use to double check the numbers we have so far. Total debits equal to total credits. Okay? No problem? Okay. So after you finish the first accounting book journal based on the date, right? First day, second day, third day, fourth day. Then post to our second book, ledger, tier account, based on each account, right? Then we can get the balance, final amount, right? So after we got the balance, final amount, so that's your balance, your final amount. Okay? So after you got the balance final amount for each account, right now, at the end of each period, so on the last day of each month, we want to know all the numbers for your final amount, the result we got. They are correct. So we want to double check it. So we post, again, we copied the numbers to our trial balance, 试算表, the tool. So remember, this is only the tool. We use it to double check the numbers we have right now. Okay? So how? You just copy each account. So like what? Okay, cash. I have a cash. My balance, final amount, is how much on my debit side. And I copy equipment. So my balance, how much on my debit side? How about my accounts payable? So I copy accounts payable to trial balance. My final amount balance, how much on credit side? So I put it on credit side. Okay? So the first column we have is account. So first column you have is account. Okay? Based on account, you just copy their balance on debit side or credit side. So that's their balance for each account. Okay. So, it's not difficult. Just copy the number, the data to trial balance. After you copy the number, the balance for each account, we do our math, for total debits, how much? You add up all the numbers on debit column. You add up all the numbers on your credit columns. Then you can get your total debit and total credits. Okay? So I got the total debits. So this is your total debits. And this is your total credits. Okay? So at least total debits should equal to total credits, right? Okay, so that's how we do the double check. If, this is so exciting. Every time when you students, they have the quiz. After finish 1, 2, wow, after you've done this, you can guess you got the correct answer or not, So you don't have to wait after I return the paper to you. You can double check your answers by yourself using this way. So sometimes when you find out, okay, total debits not equal to total credits, oh, you did something wrong. So even though it's quiz time, exam time, you have to go back to figure out what happened. So the same for your quiz exam, the same for the companies. They use this way to double check, okay, I did the correct thing or not. Any questions? No problem? Okay, so you can double check all the numbers you have so far. So go to the handout. Chapter 2. Page 13. So did you find out the handout? Chapter 2, page 13. Here told you. This is our trial balance. 试算表. So we use it to double check your answers. After posting, 过账后验算. So after posting means after you complete 2 accounting books. Okay? So first column we should have is what? Account. Second column, put your balance on debit side or put your balance on your credit side. Okay? So based on your what? Second book. So you can copy the data from T account, your second book. Okay? So take your time. Like this way. Copy the numbers, the balance for each account to your trial balance. After that, add up your total debit columns, add up your total credit columns. Then make sure total numbers should be the same. Okay? Have you got your quiz paper? If you finish, you can double check the answers. But actually, if you got total debit equal to total credits, that means maybe you are correct. So you don't need to double check my answers, right? So total debit equal to total credits. This is how we do our first official double check. We want to know our total debits equal to our total credits. If they are not equal, you did something wrong. Go back to that to check what's wrong. Any questions? Try to finish by yourself. You don't no need to copy my answers, you know. When you have a quiz or exam, you cannot copy any answers, you know. So the key point is trying to understand it, trying to finish by yourself, because still you are on your own on quiz or exam, right? Okay, any questions? Do you still need the time? Uh-oh. You just copied the balance, the final amount from your second book, right? So for example, you just look at the T account, first one. Okay, I look at T account, first one is cash. How much for my balance? 50,200. So I just copy cash, $50,200, and I just write down the numbers on my T account, on my trial balance. Okay, so first is cash, right? So I just write down cash. Debit balance on debit side, 50,200. Finish it. Next one, surprise. So go to surprise, balance how much? 2,500. So I just copied the data from second book, surprise, 2,500. So on, so on, and so on. That's it. Okay. So look at your second book. Find out each T account and copy their data and their final amount to chart balance. After this, add up all the numbers on debit side, add up all the numbers on credit side. Then you can do your first double check. Okay? Any questions? If you don't have any question, so that's the process we done. We do our first official double check. You know, we have 3 times official double check. So you will find out trial balance 3 times at different step. So this is our first time. We still have 2 times left. So we use this way, this tool, trial balance, to help us double check all the numbers we have so far. Okay, any questions? If you find out total debit not equal to total credit, means you made any mistake, some mistake, right? So you have to go back to double check what mistake you have. So what mistake we have usually on your slide 76, your textbook 2-23. So some mistake you made. Usually, what kind of mistake? Maybe a couple mistake we have. First 1 or 2. What happened? Transactions we did not generalize. What does it mean? Did not generalize. We did not recall the transaction our first accounting book. Journalize is the verb of journal, right? 所以做分录。Okay, so we didn't recall our transactions on first accounting book, first book, journal. Okay, or even though you recall the transaction on first book, you forgot to post to your second book T account, right? So this kind of mistake maybe we have, so not posted. 没有过账。So you forgot to recode, to post the transaction to our second book, T account. Okay, so first error, first mistake, second mistake, you forgot to do something. You forgot to record your transactions, okay? So how about the third one? Oh, you record it twice, okay? So for the third one, maybe, so many transactions, like 10 transactions, 1,000 transactions. If you are not very careful on each one, sometimes you forgot, oh, which transaction I recorded already? I forgot it, okay? So maybe because of this, you record it post twice, okay? So post twice means you record the transaction 2 times. Okay, so you record it 2 times in this way, like what? January 2nd, equipment accounts payable. January 2nd, equipment accounts payable. Did you find out? Record it 2 times. Then you have the number 10 become 2020. But actually, so here just want to tell you, even though total debit equal to total credit, it doesn't mean 100% correct. It doesn't mean. Because when you record it 2 times, you got total debit equal to total credit, but the number is not correct. Okay? Then what else? You use incorrect account. Could you tell me this case? Debit equipment, credit accounts receivable. What happened? Is possible? Debit equipment, credit accounts receivable. Is possible? Debit equipment means you got equipment, you purchase equipment, right? Credit accounts receivable means what? Customer don't owe you money, so accounts receivable decrease. It's possible to have this kind of transaction. Customer don't owe you money, accounts receivable decrease. At the same time, the same transaction you got equipment. It's quite weird, right? So usually the common transaction will be equipment. You got the equipment. You didn't pay the money, so it should be accounts payable, right? Or debit cash, you got the cash from customers. So accounts receivable decrease, they don't owe you money. Okay? So when you find out debit credit, try to explain what happened. So for me, when I look at this case, I know something wrong. So this account is not correct because it's quite weird. It's not common case. Equipment increase, accounts receivable decrease. It's quite weird to have this kind of situation. Okay? So for me, I know, okay, this one is not correct. Maybe correct one should be accounts payable. But did you find out? Here, I just want to tell you, even though total debit equal to total credit, it doesn't mean 100% correct. Because total debit equal to total credit, but you got wrong account. So you still cannot explain the transaction, okay? So this slide just want to tell you, even though you got total debit equal to total credit, even though you got this one, the result, it doesn't mean 100% correct. You know, not everything you can measure 100%. Impossible, right? Can I assure you, can I promise you, oh, no problem, 100%? Impossible, because sometimes, you have some accident or some price came out, right? So nothing is 100%. So even though we got total debits equal to total credit, we still cannot make sure it's 100% correct. But at least they should be the same, right? If they are not the same, then it's 100% wrong, okay? So here just a couple situations want to tell you, even though total debits equal to total credits, still you can make the mistake, okay? So maybe incorrect account. So make sure when you write down the transactions, you have to think it makes sense or not, right? Not just write down debit credit, then it's done. It's not. Think about it twice. Make sense? So for me, when I look at this one, I know it not make sense. So I'll think it twice. Something wrong? Because it's quite weird. Accounts receivable equipment appear at the same time because I got the equipment. I pay the money or not. So it's not about the customers. Okay? The other one, offset errors. So what does it mean? Maybe I made one error, but this error accidentally offset another error. 负负得正. So one error offset another error. Wow, I got correct number. Total debit equal to total credit. But still, when you look at the details, it's not correct. Okay? So here I just want to tell you, even though you got a total debit equal to total credits, it doesn't mean it's correct. The numbers may be correct, but you find out one error offset another error. So accidentally you got correct. But when you go back to look at the details, it's two errors. Okay? So did you find out? You should be very, very careful for each process, because even though I look at the trial balance, they are correct. But when I go back to look at the process, you find out two errors. Okay? Any questions? So here, just want to let you know, nothing is 100% correct. So you should be very careful on each process, each step. Okay? And when you finish one process, one step, think about it twice. It makes sense or not, okay? Don't just write down, oh, debit, credit, debit, credit. Debit, credit only means left, right. You have to think about the meaning for each journal entry, 分录. So whether it makes sense for each transaction. Okay? One small things I want to mention, then we finish, complete chapter 2, is about the format. So it's small things about the format when we use the current sign. Okay, so on your textbook 2-23, slides 77. So when we use the current sign, for your two accounting books, journal and ledger T account, you don't need to use the dollar sign. You don't need to, because these two accounting books is only for our internal use. We will not give these two accounting books to anyone else. We will not show these two accounting books to outsiders. We don't. So only for our use, internal use, we don't need to care about the format. So we don't want to use the dollar sign. We want to save our time. But when we are going to present, show our report to outsiders, we had to be careful. We had to care about our format. So like what? Trial balance, financial statements. We are going to show the data to outsiders. Then we will use the dollar sign, okay? And even though we use the dollar sign, we will only use the dollar sign on our first item and the total, means the last one. We don't use dollar sign too much, because it's quite ugly. For example, next slide. We will use the dollar sign on our first item and our total. Our first item and our total, okay? We don't use dollar sign for each number because it's quite ugly. Like what? Like this. If we use dollar sign, each item, each number, oh, it's too much, too ugly. So we want to make the format simple. So don't use it for others. Okay, just for first item and your total. That will make your format simple and easier to read your data, okay? So only for first item and total. Then, how about this one, single line? We will have our single line. So what does it mean, single line? Single line means all the numbers above the single line. We will do our math, calculate the numbers, add up all the numbers, okay? So, for example, if I have $10, $5, $6, did you find out? I only put the dollar sign for first item. The others, I don't want to put the dollar sign because they will make the format too complicated. So 3 numbers, I draw a single line. Means what? I will add up all the numbers above the single line. So here, total number 10 plus 5 plus 6 is 21. Okay? 21. If this is our final number, we will tell them, okay, stop here. This is our final number. So how? Draw 2 double line. So double line, also don't forget, for our totals, we will have dollar sign, okay? So we put a dollar sign for first one and the total. Draw double line, tell them, okay, stop here. This is our final answer, okay? So did you find out? Here, we draw double line right here. Tell them this is our final answer. So we stop here, okay? So that's a quite common we use to make readers easier to understand what we mean. So did you find out? Did you find out? For this one, trial balance, we put dollar sign for trial balance and financial statements. First item, totals, we put a dollar sign. First item, totals, we put a dollar sign. And single line means what? all the numbers, we do our calculations. Single line means all the numbers above single line, we do our calculations. And when we got our totals, the final number, we put double line. Tell them, okay, this is our final answer right here. Okay? So there's a format we use to let readers easier to understand what we mean. Any questions? No problem? So that's for chapter 2. We've done chapter 2 already. Take a break.